Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Uncommon News, where we cover topics that are unlikely to appear in the mainstream media. For today's episode, we have a lot to talk about. It's going to be in a similar format to the previous video. Got a lot of feedback from you guys, and you like the way that I did that format, so I'm going to try to continue doing it in that fashion, okay? So today's topic is going to be on dioxins. Now, you may not have heard of dioxins before, but the most popular form of dioxin was known as Agent Orange, and it was used in Vietnam, and it affected that country for years. And the people who were affected by that dioxin, they never really recovered. Okay, it breaks down over several years, but during that time that it breaks down, there are things you can do to respond to it being in your environment. There's so many different things it can do to your body. There are so many different things it can do to the environment. And what we're going to talk about today is how we can respond to that. What are some of the ways that we can treat our body after being exposed to that? What are some ways we can treat our water that has been polluted with dioxins? And what are some of the ways that we can treat our soil that has been polluted with dioxin? Now why am I concerned about this, and why should you be concerned about that? You may be asking yourself that question. One, dioxins are very cheap to produce. They're produced on a large scale throughout the world. They are dispersed globally throughout the world. So they're very easy to get a hold of. They're very, very easy to make. They can be used in a terrorist attack. There could be another industrial accident or mishap. There could be another war. When war increases, production of dioxins also increase because it's an industrial waste. So when the industrial activity increases, dioxins tend to be released into the environment on a larger scale. So for my prepper friends out there, this information is critical for you to have. That's why I'm making this video, so you would be prepared on how to respond and react to these type of industrial pollutants being released on a large scale in your environment. How to treat your water before you consume it, how to treat your food before you consume it, and how to treat your body if you're exposed to it. Alright, and this video is also for people who may have already been exposed to dioxin on a large scale. We're going to talk about some things that you can do to not exactly reverse the effects, but to reduce the effects of the dioxin exposure that you've come across. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open the notepad, okay? I'm going to read the summary points in the notepad, and I'm going to show you the source. There's a source for everything I say here. There is a source. I'm not going to go to the website and read what's in the website right away, but at the end of my summary points, I'm going to open up the web browser, and I'm going to scroll through every single page so that you can see that everything I've said has a source link and there's been research. These aren't news articles. This is research, scientific research that's been done in this area. I don't have enough time to cover this stuff, but I will, okay? And at the end of these points, I'm going to summarize, okay? Most of this information in this document will be in the description box below. This document is too large to fit in the description box below, so if you want all of the information in this document, you're going to have to pause the video and write the stuff down, or just read it, and you can look at all the stuff in the document itself. Alright, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into this information. Now, I put a lot of time and effort in this, so I would appreciate it if you like, comment, and subscribed on this video, okay? And share it with your friends. And also, the whole reason I'm making this is so that you could download it in case the grid goes down or in case the internet goes out, so that you will have this information when you need it, if you need it. So please, download this video, okay? Alright, so what are dioxins? Alright, dioxins are industrial pollutants that are constantly dispersed throughout the world. They are highly toxic and can cause reproductive and developmental problems, damage the immune system, interfere with hormones, and cause cancer. Their environmental dispersal increases significantly during times of war and have been used in biological and chemical warfare in the past. The most popular example of this is Agent Orange in Vietnam. Okay, these are the sources for that. For these reasons, it is critical to understand the ways we can respond to a large-scale dispersion of dioxins on our environment. How could a dispersion like that occur? Natural disasters can destroy facilities storing toxic waste, biological warfare, industrial mistakes or mishaps, or terrorist attacks. So, how can we respond to this? For personal treatments, you can use your common sense, okay? Identify areas that are affected, and if you can, reduce your exposure to contaminated water and contaminated fish. So don't eat the fish and don't drink the water. Eating chlorophyll before meals reduces dioxin absorption in the small intestine. Chlorophyll can be derived from Chlorella, which is an algae. Chlorella reduces dioxin absorption and accelerates dioxin excretion. Xanthohumol, which is basically found in beer and hops, has been shown to reverse the effects of dioxin on DNA. Modest consumption of beer or xanthohumol may help people who have been exposed to dioxin. Here's a source for that. So different water treatments that you can use for dioxin, polluted water. Activated carbon is a good sorbent to filter dioxins, but it's got to be activated a certain way. If you want to know how it's got to be activated, you got to go ahead and read this link right here. You got to go ahead and read it's got to be the activated carbon has to be made a certain way. Carbon nanotubes are a superior sorbent than activated carbon. Dioxins can be broken down and treated with ozone and hydrogen peroxide. These are the sources for that. But ozone is the most promising method. So you want to look for an ozone generator to treat your water. Filtration through clean soil can remove PCP from waters. The soil can then be microwave irradiated to permanently bind the PCP to the soil. Okay. Reverse osmosis is the most effective way to remove these dioxins from the water. However, it produces a lot of toxic waste that needs to be treated. And the toxic waste can be treated with advanced oxidation processes like ozone and H2O2. Okay. So these are the sources for that. Ozonation may be sufficient for treating or oxidizing the reverse osmosis wastewater. It is a promising solution for breaking down PPCPs and EDCs. So what are some different ways we can treat our food before we eat it? So washing food with ozonated water, food grade peroxide, or ethanol may help reduce the amounts of dioxin on the surface of the food. For meats, they may need to be ground up and marinated in ozonated water or ethanol liquor before being cooked. These are the sources for that. Now these sources these links and these sources right here were not specifically about washing food, but they talk about different treatments for breaking down the dioxin that is safe for using on your food as well. That's why I put those there. Okay, so they don't specifically talk about ozonated water being used to clean food, but we know that ozonated water is safe for cleaning food. So if it can be used for breaking down dioxin in soil, it can also be used for breaking down dioxin on the outside of food, and it's safe for consumption. So food grade peroxide goes with that as well. Same with ethanol. We know that you can drink liquor, so if you can drink it, you can marinate your meat with it, and it'll break down the ethanol. That's why I put these here. Okay, so these aren't exactly related to food, but I'm postulating that it can be used for your food. Okay, so that's what you could do for your food. Activated carbon can remove dioxin from fish oil without negatively affecting the quality of the fish oil. So this is also another postulation here, microwave. You can microwave your food to break down the dioxin on the food or in the food. This study right here is not about that. It's not about food, but it's about using microwaves to break down dioxin that was taken from waste that was produced in a hospital. So they captured the dioxin in activated carbon, and then they took the activated carbon and they microwaved it, and it broke down the dioxin. So I'm postulating that if you microwave your food long enough, it could break down the dioxin in your food. So big disclaimer on that one there, but it's possible. Okay, so these are soil treatments. If you're concerned about if you want to treat your soil, these are different things that you could do to remove the dioxin in your soil. And if some of these are for large, so this would be for small scale, and some are for large scale pollution of your soil. So steam distillation of soil could work, okay, but the dioxin evaporates with the water. So this also means that distillation is not a good method for treating your water, okay, but it's a good way to get the dioxin out of the soil, because when the dioxin evaporates with the water in the distillation process, okay? So another method to get it out of soil is subcritical water extraction process. Washing with ethanol followed by UV irradiation. So essentially washing the soil with a bunch of ethanol, and then letting it sit out in the sun for a long time, several hours. Large-scale soil remediation can be done using different types of fungus. These are some of the different types of fungus that you can use. Most of the research was done on a fungus called white rot. Okay, so irradiation after binding with carbon. So essentially, what they do is they absorb it with the carbon and then irradiate the carbon, and it breaks down the dioxins. So white rot fungus, there's been a lot of research done for remediating soil with white rot fungus. And then washing soil multiple times with ethanol is probably the most cost-effective and simple way to treat soil. So in summary, if you have the option, don't use the water or eat the fish from contaminated sources. If you don't have the option, then you should pre-treat your water with an ozone generator. You can buy an ozone generator online, with hydrogen peroxide. You should eat foods that are high in chlorophyll, like Chlorella, to make sure that your body doesn't absorb the dioxin, and that there were studies that also showed that Chlorella could help to take dioxin out of your tissue, your cell tissue. So even after you've absorbed it, Chlorella may help to get it out of your body after you've already absorbed it. You could drink modest amounts of beer, so a beer a day or beer every other day, to help reduce the effects of the dioxin on your DNA. You could use a reverse osmosis system or activated carbon to filter your water. If you use a reverse osmosis system, make sure that you treat the wastewater with ozone, so that you're not just throwing the dioxin back into the environment. You want to make sure that you treat the wastewater so that when it goes back into the environment, the dioxin is not there. Okay, it gets broken down. If you use an activated carbon filter, you would want to microwave the carbon before you throw it away. Not the filter element itself, not the plastic. You want to open up the filter, dump out the activated carbon, and microwave it to break for a couple minutes to break down the dioxin that's stuck inside the carbon. Okay, before you throw it back outside. You don't want to just throw dioxin back into the environment. You want to permanently get rid of it. Okay, so that's why you want to use a microwave. You want to microwave the heck out of that stuff. Okay, you can also wash your food with ozonated water, food grade peroxide, or liquor to help break down the dioxin. You can grind up your meat and marinate it with liquor or ozonated water before you eat it, before you cook it, rather. And distillation, remember, distillation does not work, okay, because dioxins will vaporize with the water. So if you're using a distiller, make sure that you, at the end of your distill, a lot of those distillers, they have activated carbon filters at the end. So if you have a distiller with an activated carbon filter at the end, that should work. But without one of those activated filters at the end of the distillation process, it's not going to work without one of those. Okay, so here's some further things you can look into. Information on ozone generation. Here's a ozone generator that I'm going to get. A couple different things, some benefits of Xanthohumol, why you should drink beer. All right, guys, thanks for watching. That pretty much sums it up. The rest of this video is just basically going to be me showing you all the information in those sources, in those source links. So if you don't want to watch that, now's probably the time to end the video. Please, before you do that, though, give me a thumbs up. It took me a lot of time and effort to make this video. All right, so please leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share this, download it. The rest of the video here is for the people who are downloading it. So if the internet cuts out or if the grid goes down, they have all this information and they can go back and they can read this. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I will catch you back on another episode of Uncommon News. Bye. All right, today's verse of the day. And my God will meet all your needs according to his glorious riches in Jesus Christ. Philippians 4:19. I'm just going to go ahead and scroll through all this so you're not going to really hear me talking. I'm just going to, you can pause the video and read all this. Okay.
Baby?
I'm still making the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope this helps.